Well, hey everybody, it's Tuesday and it's 2 o'clock, so that means it's time for Top 5 Tuesday. It also happens to be Super Tuesday. So if you're in one of the, I think it's like 13 or 14 states with the primaries this week, then get out there and vote. I have not voted yet, but that's something I'll work on doing this afternoon. So just a little reminder, my little public service announcement of the day is get out there and vote. I mean, that's how we have a voice as Americans, and we should do that. So that's my big PSA. But I wanted to talk about the videos that we've put out in the last week, and one of the unbelievable videos, well, it's not an unbelievable video, but I can't believe the response has just been absolutely incredible, and that is for our Crate Insider flat air filter base. And I was able to talk with Don Blackshear, who's a great friend of mine. He's an engine builder. He is the motorsports director there at Pace Performance. Great friend of mine, and to really get that perspective on why it is that this base works so well. And as a result, we have sold so many of these. We still have some bases, but just as a heads up, if you're interested in the lids and if you're interested in the Walker filters that go with this, we just got wiped out. I mean, it was really as a result of this video, and so I apologize that we weren't able to stay on top of that, and so some of those orders are being delayed. If you're just ordering the bases, then we are getting those out the door, but if you need a lid, if you need a 4-inch filter, we're out until next week, and I definitely am apologizing for that. But if you haven't seen that video, it's just really interesting because I've been selling these for years, for a few years already, and I really just didn't know the technical reasons why this air filter base was working so well. And so that was really great to hear that from Don Blackshear and to really get that insight into what's going on there. So that was one of our videos this week. And then another video, I was talking with Ben Baker from AFCO, Dynatech, and Longacre, and Ben was showing me how they've got these new load sticks, and the load sticks can be used on lots of different cars. I actually got to see those put into place and being used when I was at the Race Logic chassis seminar for street stocks in January. And by the way, if you happen to be a street stock racer and you haven't checked that out, we did a whole online version of that class, and so the feedback has just been incredible. All of the knowledge that was gained in that class, but then it was really captured on video, and it was the first time we've ever done that. First time for Race Logic. It was the first time I'd ever recorded an event like that. I mean, it's a 2-day event, so it was really turned out well. The feedback's been awesome, so especially if you're in a street stock, although it would be applicable, the knowledge there was applicable to many different kinds of cars, but that was one of the things we talked about was those load sticks, and you can get them a couple of different configurations. I think we'll drop in a link for the ratcheting kind, and that allows you to control the load, I guess, on the load stick. Now, I kind of mentioned this last week because we'd already put out the video. So on my next product to talk about, I'm really excited about this because I've been anticipating these for a while. We put the video out before Top 5 Tuesday last week, but I didn't actually get my shipment until the end of last week, and that is the new Kyser Wheels. I mean, these are amazing in the first place. The aluminum, I mean, they're really lightweight. I mean, you can see I don't have a scale out here to show you, but now they're offered as this black powder coat. You can see on the inside here. So I do have some of these in stock. I don't have a huge amount, but if you act quickly, I've got some of these as a beadlocks. This obviously is the beadlock wheel, and then I also have some where it just has the pro ring as well, and I think these are going to go really, really fast. But think of it, if any of you who have aluminum wheels and you've been polishing them for a while and you're kind of over it, this powder coat will definitely protect that aluminum and keep it shinier for longer. I just think they look amazing. And I think the price point on these, I want to say that these are like $3.15. I could be a little bit wrong on that. So we'll just drop in a link for the website so you can get right over there and check out all the Kyser wheels that we have. But I do have several of these in stock. I don't think they're going to last very long. but then I'll just get some more. So in the meantime, there's just a few weeks of delay in between ordering and getting them, but you know, I'll do my best on getting those as quickly as I possibly can. Now, another little highlight I just wanted to do for this week is, I guess it's another PSA, but it's the perfect time of year. Some of you are already starting to race, and some of you are still getting ready to race, then, you know, maybe you're a month or so away. Either way, if you are using your car from last year, or if you're reusing some of the things from last year, including your seat belts, I want you to just take a look and make sure that you check on your SFI labels, because your SFI label on here is going to tell you when you got, is it going to tell you when they got them? Yeah. It'll tell you when you got them. And if you know that you got them 2 or 3 years ago, it's really time to take a look at maybe replacing them, maybe getting them re-webbed. That's something that if your hardware is in good shape, you can get them re-webbed. And of course, you know, my favorite on all of this is going to be my friends from Hooker Harness. They do a fantastic job. I'm so impressed that they not only do seatbelts for race cars, they also do seatbelts for like stunt planes. It's just incredible to me how they do it both race cars and with airplanes. And so there's just a lot of safety built in here, especially with how, I mean, just even the sewing that they do on here to make sure that they're super reinforced, that it's, you know, it's as strong as it possibly can be to keep you safe. And I know some of the rules packages out there are going to tell you that you can't run seatbelts that are any older than 2, possibly 3 years, but I think most of the time, most rules will say 2 years. So just go ahead and save yourself some time and trouble now and check your SFI labels on your seatbelts to see if it's time to get a new set. And if it is, of course, we'll help you here at Crate Insider with our Hooker Harness seatbelts, and happy to get you all set up. And you can order them in lots of different colors, and whether you want to do 2-inch or 3-inch on the top, you know, depending on if you're wearing a head and neck restraint, so we can really customize them for your particular application. So before we jump into the top 5, I haven't even talked about what we're giving away this week. It's a Crate Insider kind of a week. So we are giving away, we have a Crate Insider t-shirt right here. You'll be able to pick whatever size that you want, because I have all of the sizes from small up to 4X. So that'll make it nice, and that'll be one of our giveaways. And then we'll do a second giveaway for a sling grip. I love these, you guys, and I love giving them away because if you're new to the show, then a sling grip, it's sticky and it sticks to the back of your phone. And here mine, this is working right here on a phone case. I got another phone around here someplace, and it's, oh, there it is. Or it can stick right onto the back of the phone. I have no issues with it either way, but it's basically a piece of elastic that says Crate Insider on it right there, and it allows me to hold onto my phone and just makes it simpler. So I also like, unlike a pop socket where I'd have a hard time getting it in and out of like a back pocket, I don't have any problems with this. This is a little bit more low profile than you would find like with a pop socket. So it's, to me, I like the compactness, but I like the convenience of it as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump in here and say hi to some folks before we jump into the top 5. I see a lot of familiar names. I see Mark and Mike and Danny. I have to say hi West Coast because Danny's on the West Coast. He always calls me East Coast. I see Randall and Mike, David, Terry, Jason, Daryl, and KL. Let's see, can you give a brother a wheel or two? I'll put your company on the map. Well, anybody who's missing that joke is I did a video back in December called Stop Doing Sponsorship Proposals That Suck, and one of the things was I was reading a proposal where they told me that they could put me on the map. I probably do need to do another video talking about exposure, and in fact, it's totally side note here. For anybody who doesn't know, I also do teach racers about marketing and sponsorship, and I have a whole separate website called winningmotorsportsmarketing.com, and on there I have a membership program for $25 a month. You can learn all about like the different tactics and tools, especially tools that I use, how I use them, and how you can really change your marketing for your race team so you can turn that into sponsorship. And we're helping a lot of people. I am so thrilled to see the successes of some of my students, and I've opened up the program. It was closed for a little while, but it's opened up again. So if you would like to join, you are welcome to join, and I'd love to see you in there. So that was just a little kind of a side note there. And some people know what my side said last week, which is February top 5 products, because I just did one basically on all of February. And Mike says it must be Tuesday because I'm watching Kate. Have a great day, Kate. I love that. So Brandon and Jason, Bill. Oh, and Bill says, or replace your seatbelts after a pretty big crash, safety first. That's a really good idea. Really, really good idea. Steve says, love my hookers, best belts I've ever used. I'll tell you, I love their t-shirts because their slogan is hookers save lives. I just think it's hilarious, and it's just a lot of fun right there. Brandon asks, do you still have some of the scratch and dent stuff? I do have some of the scratch and dent bases and lids. So if you needed a scratch and dent lid, I do have some of those in stock. And let's see, what's the cost on rewebbing belts, and does it update them? I don't know the cost on rewebbing because I don't handle that. It would just be directly with Hooker. But it would redate them. Yes, it would definitely would, because they're just going to check it over and make sure that all of your hardware is in really good shape. And then it's just a matter of putting in new webbing. Because one thing that can happen to this webbing, especially when you're washing your car, what can happen is that it gets wet, it gets some of those chemicals on it, it gets some sun damage. I mean, think about like if you've got a pair of jeans and you were to put them out on a clothesline and how they get kind of crunchy like that. Well, that crunchiness, and then when you then are going to use them and kind of soften them back up again, it can really damage some of those fibers. So that's really interesting that I remember learning that. Let's see here. They checked our seatbelt and found some 2006 at our track. Well, I'm glad that they checked him, Dustin. That's really, really good. I love that. And Terry says he uses his sling grip every day. And Brian likes that I've got some nice big boy friendly shirts. Hey, absolutely. We're all inclusive here, right? Just yeah, that's the world we live in now. It's for everybody. But great, with that, let's go ahead and jump in to the top 5 products of the week. And I just kind of grabbed kind of a little selection here that I wanted to kind of shake things up. I mean, you've seen a lot of these products before, but I definitely wanted to to be able to talk about them. So one of them this has been my favorite. I don't know. I'd have to ask Bentley and Dominator if I'm the biggest seller of these, but I just love the cold air box from Dominator. And the reason why is because any of you who have tried to fabricate a cold air box from scratch know that it is an absolute giant pain to do. I mean, there's just so much work that goes into it. But with the cold air box from Dominator, now it comes this high. This is about 4 inches high or so. I think there's here we go. I've got to have a tape measure on my desk. And I think this starts out, yeah, it's about 4 inches high. And now I do get the question sometimes whether you're supposed to cut out cut a hole out of your hood that's this big. The answer to that is no, you do not. So the idea would be when you're installing this, and by the way, it comes with this gasket so you can use it with your air filter base. But the way this works is you would put this, well, you'd have your air filter base, and then there we go, air filter base, put the cold air box on top, just like this. Well, you have the gasket in here. And then that way those two things are sealed together. Then you're gonna put your air filter in here. But the idea is when you're putting your hood down, then you could even just bring it in from the side. Like let's say, I don't know, we're gonna grab a magazine or something here. So let's say your hood, we bring it in from the side and it's hitting about right there. Then we're just gonna maybe score a little chalk line right there, and then you're gonna cut it. So this plastic here, you can see it's a little bit flexible. It's not brittle, which means it's not gonna crack up into a million little pieces. It's made so that you can cut it down. So you'd wanna cut this down just so that it's basically flush with the bottom of your hood. Now it's not attached to anything, so you can just kind of pull it off at will. But this way you create this whole little pocket that is separating your air filter from the engine heat underneath. The other thing it's doing is separating your air filter from the dust that gets kicked up, because it's maybe not so much on the track, but especially when you're in the pit area and you're revving up and you're idling and you can kick up all that dust in the pit area, well, guess what? That dust can easily go into your air filter, but when you've got it sealed off like that, separate from your engine and all of that dust, it's keeping that dust out of your air filter. So it's really a kind of a dual purpose, and for $69, I just think it's a fantastic value. I think you're getting a lot for that, and you're really able to solve two problems rather than one. And at the end of the day, if we can have cooler air going into our engines, we're going to free up more horsepower. So at the end, we want more performance, but in the meantime, we're also keeping the dust out of the air filter. So that makes it nice. So cold air box in the number 5 spot. I love this product. No secrets there. All right, next up in the number 4 spot this week is our Shaffer Oil Change Kit. And our Shaffer Oil Change Kit comes with 7 quarts of Shaffers. It comes with a Wix oil filter, and this is the Wix 51061R. This is the regular style. If you need a short style, we can do a short style. I don't have it put together as a kit, but this is the standard size of the Wix filter. And then right now we still have a promo going on where if you get the Shaffer's Oil Change Kit, you'll get this bonus of the citral cleaner. And I'll tell you, I love how this smells, because when you spray it, it smells like oranges. It's basically made out of orange oil, so it's just a heavy duty degreaser, but it doesn't kill you. It's like, well, I mean, this is actually some really intense stuff, but it smells really good. So it doesn't smell all chemical, like icky chemicals like a lot of cleaners do. So I do like that about it. So that's in our number 4 spot. And our Shaffer's Oil Change Kit runs $81.41, and we'll just go ahead and drop that link into the notes here on Facebook. Later on, this video will be on YouTube, and then we'll have all of these links in the description. So if you ever want to catch Top 5 Tuesday when we're not live, you can always find us over on YouTube. We just get it up in a couple hours later, somewhere, same day generally. All right, next up, in the next product we want to talk about is our race fan. And our race fan continues to be so super popular, and I'm just going to show you quickly how these go together, how it comes. You'll get a hub, and then in this case we're going to talk about the 3-blade 19-inch fan. And in this case, what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and put these blades into place, and they'll be equally spaced. And then this, when you're ordering the whole fan together, then you're also getting it with the hardware. So then you would have some nuts and some bolts that are special, actual aircraft hardware that are used for these. And what I really love is, well, for one, race car parts most of the time don't come with instructions, and I find that super annoying. But what I do love about the race fan is, check this out. So right here on the hub, it tells you exactly right there to torque the nuts to 144 inch-pounds, so you know exactly what to do. So you've got the bolts, the nuts, the washers, the whole deal all together in that kit, and you'll put it together. Now the cool thing about the race fan, if this happens to be new for you, is that you can reconfigure this. So this can be a 2-blade fan, a 3-blade fan. You can buy 4 blades, make it a 4-blade fan. It really can be up to a 6-blade fan, but in crates we never need a 6-blade fan. 4 is about as all that you would really need. But our 3-blade fan, a lot of people buy a 4-blade fan and they generally use the 3 blades and then have 1 blade as a spare. That's a really good idea as well. So the 3-blade fan though runs $217.50, and it really doesn't matter if you choose the 15-inch, the 17-inch, or the 19-inch fan. Any one of those are all going to be the same price, and everything's like really nice and interchangeable too. So love that about it. All right, next up in the number 2 spot is our Longacre leak down tester. So especially for any of you, now I know some of you are already racing. I mean, there's been some March Madness races. There was already some racing this last weekend here in North Carolina. Obviously they've been racing in Florida since January, but if you're in an area of the country where you haven't started yet, or heck, even if you have, and if you're wondering if your engine is down on power, the number one, that's a big question we get. How should I know when it's time to replace my engine or to get it freshened, depending on what area of the country. Not everybody can get their engine freshened, but you know, if you want to know if your engine's worn down, the thing that we're going to tell you is to run a leak down test. And the leak down tester that we've used and we recommend here is the Longacre leak down tester. And you can even go over to our website. You can see we've done a video on this just to show how this, if you've never done a leak down before, these hoses here, one you connect to an air line, you connect to a spark plug, and then these dials will show you the amount of loss that you have in a cylinder. And so that makes it very easy to see if you've got one of your cylinders that is leaking down, and that percentage is a little bit higher, then it's something to definitely take a second look at, and it may be time for you to make that next decision about that engine. You know, whether you're going to keep it, replace it, repair it, or refreshen it. So whatever the case may be. So this Longacre leak down tester, this runs $119.99. Great value for what you're getting. It's a tool that's going to last you for a really long time. Certainly something you don't need to use every day, but it's definitely something that comes in handy for when you need it. So definitely high on our recommendations list. Just to, so you know, we, rather than just tell you, hey, you've done 30 nights, it's done. Nah, go ahead and do a leak down. That way you'll really know what's going on with your engine. All right, before we hit the top spot, I'm gonna see if there's any other questions here. If anybody has any questions, feel free to drop them in. I am more than happy to answer questions while we're here. I don't really see a lot of questions. So let's go ahead and talk about our other product that we have this week on our top 5. And that is our Daytona 1 XL1 engine treatment. Now, one of the things that I love to say about this is that me personally, I don't have a race car. So the fact that I don't have a race car means about 90%, 99% of the products we sell at Crate Insider, I have zero use for in my personal life. But this is the exception, one of the exceptions, and that's the Daytona 1 XL1 engine treatment. I use this in my car because it cuts down on friction, and for my car, it means that I get better gas mileage. It also applies if you're using this in a towing vehicle. The whole idea is it's increasing lubrication and it's cutting down on that friction. So in the case of a passenger vehicle, you're going to get better gas mileage because you've got lower temperatures, lower friction. But over in a race car, what that does is it's going to free up horsepower. You are not going to save any gas mileage in a race car, but you will over on your towing vehicles or your personal vehicles. And I'm very proud to use this. It's made a huge difference for my car, and you can definitely take a look at that for yourself as well. And you can use about 2 ounces per quart each time you do an oil change. Just replace that much oil with the engine treatment and just put it right in there, and it just works great. So that's our top product this week, and that runs $24.95 for a 16-ounce container. We also have a larger bottle as well, but the 16-ounce runs $24.95. So with that, I'm going to take a look and see if there's any other comments. Then let's go ahead and start doing some giveaways and drawings and give away some stuff here. So let's see here if there are any other questions. Busy working, selling parts, and working on the late models. 8 late models, a lot for one person. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of work there. Let's see. Does Superior Bearing have low drag 2.5 GN hub bearings? I'm not sure, but Brandon, I could connect you directly with Superior and you could talk with them as well. If they have it, it's something I could get for you, no problem. Let's see. Oh my gosh, David says I can come and race his car anytime I want. Wow, that would be really, really cool. And wow, and I can drive Danny's car too. Oh my gosh. And let's see, Jay says, will in the future carry parts for dwarfs? It is unlikely, Jay, only because we're Crate Insider, so everything we do is centered around the crate engines, which would be the 602s, 604s, and 525s. You just never know. If I'm going to start another website though, there's no part of that would surprise anybody around me. So just letting you know, it's nothing that's on my radar for right now, but I'm just gonna say no, not now. I'm not gonna say no, not ever. Hey, you've got some ideas, contact me and we'll see what we can put together. So I'm always open to new ideas. With that, let's go ahead and look at, we've got a bunch of comments here today. I've got Alex helping out in the office, and he's gonna help me with finding some winners, and I'm gonna jot down some numbers here for him. And he's going to find me some winners for sure.
5 on the sign too.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So we've got that. Okay, so he's going to find me some winners. And in the meantime, I'm going to see if there's any other questions on here. I see we're getting some new comments. new questions. And definitely feel free to, if you're seeing any of the videos that we put out from Crate Insider, feel free to leave any comments or leave any questions in there. I do try to monitor the comments and try to answer any questions that people have for sure. So let's see, do y'all ever get used 602s? I don't personally, but I could probably connect you with somebody that does deal with the used. I just do the new parts is all I really do. All right, so I've got one. Is this our first winner? Okay, so our first winner of the Crate Insider t-shirt is Chris Taylor. So Chris, if you would, Chris, please send me a private message, or Crate Insider a private message with your address and also the shirt size that you need, and we will get you a t-shirt sent out this week. So Chris Taylor, I'm going to jot that down. And then our winner, our second winner, is David Marlowe. So David, if you would, send me a private message with your address, and you are the winner of our sling grip this week. So I just want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Thank you for being part of Top 5 Tuesday. Get out there and vote if you're in one of the primary states, and I will look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Have a great week.